Right, hello everybody, so we're here today with this Renault Megane that's got this problem with the windscreen washers. So as you can see there, they are working, but the flow rate is very much reduced, and also the water's coming out in that kind of pulsed kind of manner. It's not coming out smoothly. I'll just show you again. So we're going to see if we can fix that. Okay, so the good news is that I've fixed it, and the problem was this pump unit that I've replaced. The not so good news, I suppose, if you're watching this video, is that because of weather and time constraints, I wasn't able to film it, unfortunately. But what I am going to do today in this video is just go through what I did to fix it. By the way, I've had a few comments on the plants and flowers and stuff we've got in the back garden here. My girlfriend does all that, so I didn't really know very much about them, but yeah, they do look rather lovely at the moment, especially this time of year, I suppose. So if anybody's interested in that, there's some of our flowers. But anyway, on with the car. Okay, so I'll just start by showing you the fix. So here we go. Need to adjust the jets there a little bit on this side, I think, but as you can see, they're coming out normally now. Okay, so that washer pump is down at the bottom of the washer fluid reservoir, so it's effectively down here is where you need to get to access it. Now, I have heard of people taking this panel off to try and access it, but I don't think that's really the best idea, in my opinion, just if anybody's interested in my opinion, because this panel is actually very difficult to remove. I don't think you could get it off really without damaging it quite severely, and also even once you did, access through there is going to be very limited, so that wouldn't be my sort of preferred method of trying to do it. The way I did it was by taking off the whole bumper, which actually wasn't as bad as it sounds, so I'm just going to go through now how I did that. Okay, so start by taking off these three nuts. There's 1, 2 and 3 that hold the bottom of the bumper onto the kind of under tray kind of thing. By the way, you don't need to jack the car up to do this. I did it with it just on the ground, so you don't need to jack it up, but if you do, please make sure you do so securely and safely. Okay, so next you want to remove these 2 screws from inside the wheel arch. So there's one there that you can just make out in the light, I think, and one further on down just there. I don't know if that will come out in the video, but if you're actually sort of looking at it for real, they're quite obvious where they are. So remove those 2 screws and do the same on the other side, and then once you've removed those 2 screws, this bit of the bumper here will simply sort of clip out. You can just pull it out by a few inches and then leave it there for the time being. So here are those screws on the other side. I think with the way the light is shining, it just looks a bit clearer on this side. There's one there and one there, and again on this side as well, just clip away this bit of the bumper. Okay, so then working underneath the bonnet, you want to remove these 3 bits of plastic trim. So there's one central one there, and there's 2 at the side there. Right, sorry, 1 at the side there and 1 at the side there, so 3 in total. Actually, on this one that I'm running, I just leave this one off anyway, simply because it just makes it easier to check the coolant level. But anyway, if yours will probably be on, so you need to remove that one, this one, and then the center one, and those get removed by taking these clips off. So now, once you've got this panel removed, you will find that along the top of the bumper, there's a few more clips like these, similar to these ones, so you need to take those off as well. And then once you've done that, you'll find that the bumper will actually pull away towards you a little bit, but it won't come out. The reason it's not coming out at that point is there's actually sort of in these sort of corners here, which you can't really see, there's 2 more clips that kind of clip the bumper onto the kind of corner of the headlight. And what you need to do is when this panel's off and the bumper's kind of moved forward a little bit, you will just be able to look down there and make out where those clips are, and then insert a screwdriver to help you release those clips. So it's a bit difficult to explain, but you know, once you get a careful visual down through that little gap that will open up, you will see what I mean. And then the bumper will simply kind of move forward and slide off. What you might need to sort of jiggle it around a little bit, make sure that both the side bits that we said to release sort of stay released, they haven't come back in. But essentially, once you've kind of taken all those fixings off, it will come out. It's really not as difficult as it sounds. So if you happen to be doing this job on a Scenic, by the way, like this one here, I would say this job is sort of slightly easier. You don't need to remove this black plastic paneling on the Scenics. So obviously to remove the you know, what's on the arches on either side and the bottom fixings as we described with the Megane. And then you need to work along the top of the bumper, removing these clips and these screws. And then once you've done that, this panel will kind of lift up, and then once that lifts up like that, you get access to that kind of clip which the bumper is kind of hooked over on the top of. And then once you lift up and release that, the bumper should just pull forward. Okay, so once you've got the bumper off, you're going to see the washer fluid bottle with the pump attached here. And the pump, and by the way, you don't need to remove the washer fluid bottle. I've just got this one here to show you for the video, basically. So basically, the pump is held on by the kind of the rubber bung at the bottom, and then the top of it sort of clips into this kind of recessed bit in the washer bottle. So to get it out, you simply sort of need to sort of jiggle it around a bit, sort of like give the top of it sort of like a fairly good yank to sort of release it from the clip, and then sort of like you know, do a bit of like rotational movement as you're just pulling the bung out. Be careful. I don't think you're likely to do this, but be careful not to lose the bung inside the bottle. I think that's quite unlikely, but just pay a little bit of attention to that, I would say. So just to let you know, the tube that comes out of here is on the right hand side, this black connector here, that's the one that goes to the windscreen washers. And the tube that comes out of this left white one, that's the one that goes to the rear window. Now, on the one that's fixed onto here is actually like a rubber tube, and it comes off fairly easily. But this one here is actually plastic, and it's obviously feels quite brittle, and you do need to be careful to try and get it off without damaging it. Now, the way I did that, so hopefully it might work for you as well, is I heated up some water in a kettle to not quite boiling, but sort of nearly boiling, probably about 80-90 degrees Celsius, something like that, I think. And then I kind of poured it over the tube, and sort of let that get hot, and that sort of softened it enough to sort of enable me to sort of gently nudge by sort of like nudging it up with like a flat bladed screwdriver as well, and sort of like start rotating it and pulling it. That enabled me to like get it off without damaging it. I think if I just tried to sort of pull it off without doing that hot water process, I think it probably would have split, because it was quite brittle. I mean, I'm guessing they obviously wouldn't be that brittle brand new, but obviously, you know, when you're dealing with sort of older cars, you do need to be aware of this sort of stuff. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Just one final thing to mention is that obviously at the beginning of the video you saw the symptoms I had with mine, and you saw that the pump was actually still working. So that's why, sort of based on the symptoms, I was fairly confident that it was the pump, and I just went ahead and replaced it, and it did fix it. But obviously, if say like your pump isn't working at all, then you do want to check things like your fuses, your electrical connections, particularly say like this connector here, and that kind of thing, because obviously it could be the case that your pump's fine and it's some electrical problems, so you don't want to be replacing parts unnecessarily. But yeah, anyway, so I hope that was helpful. If it was, please help support our little channel by clicking subscribe. That really helps us, and we'll hopefully catch you on the next one. Bye.